we both have done, literally, you've produced video game conventions.
Mm-hmm.
I have been at all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've been to a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think, we hear this every year, the death of E3? It's less people here this year than ever. It's definitely over this time. That being said, there's a ton of other new shows and a lot of local shows, which we know, PRG and a bunch of them. Rose City was the other day.
Yep.
So there's a ton of new shows, I feel like, that are local based, not as big, smaller. PAX is still going strong, but E3 does seem like on a decline right now because I was there last year and it was less.
Mostly empty.
Most empty. So what are your thoughts on E3? Is it, really truly dead, or is it just kind of going through a cycle? And B, are game conventions on the decline or rise?
Okay. That's an interesting question because I have an opinion about that.
Well, I'm glad I asked.
So when people talk about the death of E3, I think that's looking at E3 from one perspective. And that perspective is that idea that E3 is a consumer event. And really, E3 was not ever meant to be a consumer event.
Right.
You were supposed to be industry. You were supposed to pay to go to these conferences that talked about like distribution and how to court retailers. And the show floor was for journalists to go and preview these items and for retailers to preview these items and decide what to buy for the coming, season, holiday season or whatever.
Like product.
Yeah.
Not like reviews.
It's a trade show.
Yeah.
And I would say that as a trade show, E3 is kind of dying. Yes, absolutely. But as a consumer show, E3 is this little blossom that's just starting to open up.
Interesting. It's morphing.
Yeah, and what you're seeing is this decline of retailer attendance and retailer pricing and sponsorship, and the rise of the social media aspect and influencers attending this show that has this cachet of being this elite exclusive experience.
Right.
And I think we're at that valley right now where the retail and the trade show attendance is at its zenith. No, apex? No, zenith.
Apex is high. Zenith is low?
It's at the valley. It's at the bottom.
Yeah.
And the consumer aspect of it has not risen to its full potential yet. So it feels like E3 is dying, but really it's transitioning.
It's a rebirth then.
It
That
is.
makes sense.
And but all that being said, I cannot say whether or not the growth of E3 as a consumer event will continue to grow.
Right.
It might be that PAX. I personally believe that PAX has already taken that space, and E3 is playing catch up at this point.
Well, for one thing, PAX has many shows, right? So like PAX is PAX South, PAX East, PAX West, PAX Australia, PAX one more,
PAX Unplugged, and PAX Dev. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
I think cumulatively speaking, PAX is the largest show for video games.
Yeah, that easily makes sense. I mean, I went to PAX East, was it last year? And I was like, oh man, what the hell?
Yeah.
This is huge. And it was just, that thing, which I always put in my head like, oh no, that's just a little satellite show. Because back in the day, it kind of was.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, this is a big freaking show.
Yeah.
And it's also part of the PAX universe. So,
PAX is no longer PAX Prime. It's PAX West because every other show has grown.
Right.